Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This one is my team selection for Game Week 35. So, we will have a look at how I got on in Game Week 34, which is on screen. We'll have a look at how I'm lined up for Game Week 35, what transfers I'm thinking about and who I'm thinking about as my captaincy option. So, as you can see, 90 points. This was a free hit for me, so I was on free hit in Game Week 34. That meant a green arrow so far from 12k up to basically 10k. Now, the Brentford Nottingham Forest game hasn't happened yet, and I have no players left, so there will be, my rank will go down a little bit. Hopefully it will still be a green arrow though. The only people that can really kind of harm it, I think, are Wood and Wemo, maybe Wissa, maybe Nico Williams. Mainly in Wemo and Wood though. But yeah, 90 points. A pretty good free hit, to be honest. The back line absolutely killed it. One thing I didn't get right was I didn't have Cunha in my team, but we'll go over it anyway. Jose Sa, 12 points. I wanted at least double Wolves defence. Leicester have barely scored any goals recently. If you watched myself and George's video, the player rankings for Game Week 34, we talked about how bad Leicester have been at scoring goals, so I wanted double defence. I got very lucky with Jose Sa though. He saved a penalty, so 12-pointer, unbelievable. Trippier, 15-pointer. I think it was 2 assists and a clean sheet. He's just on so many set pieces at the moment, and Newcastle looks so good from set pieces. He was always going to be in my team. Sessegnon was one that I wasn't sure I was going to go for. I was tempted to go for Livramento and then Kluivert instead of Jacob Murphy. I'm glad that I went this way round, to be honest. Sessegnon, it's because I wasn't sure if he'd start. Now, I thought that he was going to be playing as a winger. However, Anthony Robinson, I still haven't seen what's up with Anthony Robinson, but he wasn't in the squad. So Sessegnon played at left back, which isn't quite as good as if he was going to play at left wing, but at left back it meant he got more minutes. And that turned out to be a great thing because right at the end of the game he managed to score. And then Aït-Nouri just doing Aït-Nouri things, doing what he does and picking up another haul. So yeah, the back line, 12 points, 15, 11, 11. Unbelievable from them. Palmer continues to disappoint. If I didn't go for Palmer, I would have gone for Kluivert in that spot anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Jacob Murphy just continues to score points. 6 points he got. Can't complain with that. All 3 of the Newcastle boys are returned for me. Salah with 8 points. He was my captain. The only other person I was considering as captain is Isak. So happy with how Salah got on. Diaz with 7. He was another one that I was a little bit worried about, but I think I was always going to go with him. I just really like the fixture, and I did think he'd start, so I wasn't too worried about that. Isak with 6 points, so I was always going with Isak. Now, I really struggled with the other 2 forwards. Welbeck, with João Pedro out, that meant that Welbeck's minutes were going to be great. He was going to be playing up front, and he was going to be on penalties probably. It made him a really nice option, and they were also playing West Ham, who are terrible. If you've watched my videos before, you know I support West Ham, so maybe this was some anti-fan bias. But I thought that Welbeck was a really nice option up against Cunha, especially given that there was a little bit of, a little bit of uncertainty around whether Cunha would start or not. That uncertainty turned out to be rubbish, and Cunha absolutely smashed it, of course. Raul, I didn't really consider him until we found out that Muniz was definitely not going to be playing. So again, Raul with good minutes and on penalties, hard to turn down. Honestly, if I could have had 4 forwards this week, I would have picked all 4 of them. Turns out I didn't pick the one that hauled, but still, very, very good week, and I can't complain. So let's look at how my team is lined up for Game Week 35 now, and what transfers I've potentially got planned, and who I'm going to captain. Okay, so on to my Game Week 35 team now. So this is how my defenders and goalkeepers are set up now. As you can see, I've got 2 free transfers. I have 0.7 million in the bank. So goalkeepers wise, I'm fine. I've got Raya with Bournemouth at home, and I've got Martinez with Fulham at home. I'll talk in a minute about what I'm thinking about who I'm going to start. Munoz with Forest at home. Not an incredible fixture, but I also don't mind it. Konza with Fulham at home. Now, obviously, same as Martinez. Gvardiol with Wolves at home, he's one that's definitely going to play. To be honest, Munoz and Gvardiol are pretty much definitely going to start for me. Now, on the bench, I've obviously got Livramento last on the bench. I highly doubt I'll start him. Now, I will be starting one of Kiwior and one of Konza. I'll also obviously be starting one of Raya or Martinez. Now, on screen right now, I've got Raya and Konza. I can say right now that won't be the case. It will either be Martinez and Konza, or Raya and Kiwior. I will double up on whichever one of the defences. For me, I don't really see the point in hedging my bets and playing one of each. I will basically make a decision on whether I want to play the 2 Arsenals or the 2 Villa players. Haven't decided at all when I'm going to land on that. The main issue being that if I knew that Kiwior and Raya, I guess, were both going to start, then I would play both of them. I'm not 100% sure that Kiwior does start, given that this is between the 2 PSG semi-finals, so there's a chance that I'll just go Martinez and Konza, but we'll see near the deadline where I land on that. Midfielders now. Again, I've got Marino on the bench. Now, this is because I'm really just not sure that Marino does play. I mean, I'm almost certain that Marino will play the second leg against PSG, so there's a very, very good chance that he is rotated for this Bournemouth game. Now, Arsenal can't win the league anymore, obviously, so they're playing for very little. I mean, they do still need second place or want second place, so they will want that, but I can just see quite a lot of rotation. So I will most likely be benching Marino this week or selling. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, I've got Savinho, Wolves at home. No guarantee he plays, far from a guarantee that he plays. Actually, it's probably a 50-50 chance, but quite happy to stick him in there. Sarr with Forest at home. Again, I don't hate the fixture. It's also not that great, but I don't hate it necessarily. There's a chance I could sell him. There's a chance I could sell all 3 of them. Savinho, Sarr and Marino. We'll talk about that at the end. Salah with Chelsea at home. Chelsea away, sorry. Not a great fixture, but I'm not selling Salah. Palmer with Liverpool at home. Again, a pretty terrible fixture. There's a chance that I could sell Palmer. We'll get into that in a minute because he's been horrific recently. But this is how I'm currently lined up. Forwards wise, I've got Isak with Brighton away. There is a world where I sell him, but I just probably won't do it. Then Mateta with Forest at home and Marmoush with Wolves at home. I definitely won't be selling Marmoush. Marmoush will, if I make no transfers, Marmoush will be my captain. As you can see, I've got the captain armbands on him at the moment. Now, transfers wise, there are 2 players, or 1 player in particular that I really want. Brian Mbeumo, I really want in my team. I think he is the best captain option this week. So if you have him, I would captain him. If you don't have him, I'd try and find a way to buy him. Now, I've got a couple of routes on how I can get to him. One being, so I've got 2 free transfers obviously. So one being Isak down to a cheaper forward. I'm not quite sure who that cheaper forward would be. I don't think I can afford, the way I'm going to do this, I don't think I can afford to do Isak to Wissa and then either Savinho, Sarr or Marino up to Mbeumo. I don't think I can afford that. So it would have to be Isak down to someone not great, which probably involves someone like Vardy or Welbeck or someone not ideal. The other option that I can do is obviously just go straight from Palmer to Mbeumo. Obviously I can do Palmer and Mateta to Mbeumo and Wissa, which I do quite like. However, this all is well and good to say, but there is a chance that there'll be a double game week in game week 36, sorry. Now, hopefully we'll know this before the deadline. There's also quite a good chance that we won't know it before the deadline. The main teams that could be involved, it's the Bournemouth and City game. So I've already got triple City, which is a reason why I wouldn't want to sell Savinho necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong, Savinho isn't kind of nailed or anything like that, but if they've got a double and the double's really good as well, it involves obviously Bournemouth and might even involve Southampton, I think. So it's a very, very good double for City. and I wouldn't be using transfers messing around with like moving City players about. People did it last week where they had Savinho, they wanted to move him on, they wanted to get De Bruyne in. That went not great really. So I won't be using transfers on moving City players. I will be definitely keeping these three. But I will need Bournemouth players if they double. Now the double won't be great, of course, because it will involve City. I'm not sure who else they're playing that week, but it won't be the best double, obviously. But that would mean that I need transfers for it, which is the reason why I wouldn't necessarily want to use both my transfers this week. So the Palmer to Mbeumo route is quite nice. There is an option where I'll just roll and keep 3 transfers, especially as that will be pretty useful if there's other double game weeks. So for example, Villa and Spurs, that has potential to be a double game week as well. Spurs have asked the Premier League for their game to be moved so that they've got more time between their European ties. I think Aston Villa will probably just reject it. Well, not that they get to decide, but Aston Villa will say they don't want it. The Premier League have the decision on it, of course. How likely that is to actually be a double game week, I don't know, but I've already got 2 Villa players in Konza and Martinez. I would grab a couple of Spurs players as well. I'd probably grab Solanke, I'm not sure who else. But yeah, keeping a few transfers in the bank for that might be quite useful, especially as if the double does happen, it means that the teams that double will blank the following week. So I'll definitely need transfers to sort all that out. I'm kind of hoping that we do just find out this information before the deadline comes this week. Then I can kind of make decisions based on it. But at the moment we don't have that information. So my most likely moves are to roll or to do Palmer to Mbeumo and roll the other one. Like I say, if I got Mbeumo in, I would captain him. So that's where I'm currently at with my team. If you've got any questions on my team, do let me know. If you've got any questions on your team, put them in the comments as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit like, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.